I thought we would be together forever. God, nothing makes sense. We were supposed to be together forever. But then she wanted a break, which I thought was okay. Things have been quite stressful lately, but we agreed to stay in touch with each other. She would respond to one message and then ignore me for hours. So the next day, I'm at work, then she tells me she's at a friend's house, a guy she knows I despise. We argue. I leave work. I'm such an emotional wreck because I think she's been cheating at this point. I picked her up from there so we could talk, and I couldn't trust her. We argued about what she had been doing and why she had been there. I wanted to believe her so bad, but my gut wouldn't let me. I begged her to show me her phone and the conversation she was having with this guy, and she wouldn't, no matter how much I begged. So I told her to get out of my car. I drove home and cried. Later she called to tell me she was going out with her friends drinking. I asked where she would be because I worried she didn't like that. She says that she's her own person and she doesn't need to tell me and that I should trust her. I couldn't sleep that night. I was up until the early morning, just hoping she would respond to any of the messages I had sent her. Nothing. I told her that wasn't okay with me because if the roles were reversed, she would have had a huge problem with me doing that. The next morning I told her we needed to have a serious talk and that I wanted to see her today. She agrees, and where else does she want me to pick her up from but this guy's house? I was so mad. I get there, and we talk peacefully. It seemed like she understood where I was coming from. Then I noticed the marks on her neck. My heart sunk. I pointed them out to her and asked her what the duck those were. She didn't know what I was talking about at first. So she looks in the mirror and says she doesn't know how they got there and swears that someone must have done it without her consent while she was crashing on this guy's couch. I was a madman, rage overtook me. I didn't know what to think. So foolishly believing her, I drove back to his house to confront this guy. He claimed no knowledge and that he was sleeping when she got there. We left, and I told her to call the cops to report it. I figured if she were lying to me, she wouldn't lie to the cops. So we collect her things, and I drive her back to her mom's apartment, where they both live, to wait for the cops. When they arrived, they told me I would have to leave so she could make a statement. I was confused, but I complied. What else was I going to do? So once I got home, I started texting her telling her that everything would be okay and to be strong. Then she tells me she's making a statement about me to the police. I was so lost. I didn't understand why she was doing this. She says they pressured her for information on our relationship, and if I'm hurting her, she told them things out of context, seeming to get me in trouble. Then she tells me that they will be coming to arrest me and how she didn't want it to happen. She claims that she told them she didn't want to press charges, that the police would be charging me regardless of whether or not she wanted them to. Then she tells me that she never wanted any of this to happen, telling me that she didn't want to get me in trouble and why I made her go to the cops. I should have known then what was up and just left her forever. But I didn't because I do love her with all my heart. So we continued to text, and I said some things to make her feel bad for putting me in this situation just for trying to get her the justice she deserves. Then I got picked up by the cops at like 11 p.m. that night, fingerprinted and then discharged. After that, I didn't message her for a day. She spammed my messages, telling me how much she loved me, how much she missed me and how she didn't want to live if it wasn't with me, asking me not to hate her forever. And that no matter what happens, we'll get to be in heaven together. About how she will always be my little star. How she'll never love anyone else but me. And how she would rather kill herself than cheat on me. Then she tells me that she remembers more about how she was assaulted in her sleep. How she remembered exactly who it was. So I told her to go downtown to the police station to make another statement, which she did if the photos she sent proved anything. Fast forward to last night, ducking 4:20. She told me she was going to her best friend Sam's. He's trustworthy, but we don't get along. Anyway, the last we spoke, I was upset at her for not telling me she got there safe. She never contacted me again. So being bored and angry, I started digging up what I could on the guy she says assaulted her, contacting people close to him, and letting them know the kind of person he was alleged to be. Then I started messaging him directly, calling him out for being a predator, just giving him all kinds of acid. Then he tells me that I'm not getting the full story and that she's been seeing another guy behind my back and that they are friends and knows that they've been ducking. So I took a screenshot of it and then sent it to ask her what he was talking about. No response? One by one, every method of communication is blocked. Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, Snapchat. Everything. Before she blocked me on Facebook, I could see she was active on Messenger, so I knew she saw every message I had sent her. She just didn't respond. So that's basically where I'm at right now. Redditor's reactions, story 2 after. Redditor 1, you are doing everything wrong. Stop playing the pick-me dance. She is lying to your face and you continue to believe her BS. It was over the minute she turned the cops on you. Stop reaching out to her and block her everywhere. She feeds off all the attention you have been giving her. Look up the 180 method and greywall her. Redditor follow-up, it was over the when she asked for the break to try the other guy out, but he certainly should have accepted it when the police got involved. Redditor 2, JFC. This woman is dangerous. Why are you continuing to interact with her? Do you want to be fighting off false charges of abuse? She has already made false claims about you to the police once. Block her and anyone associated with her. And thank whatever power you believe in for your lucky escape. Redditor 3, so, now you see very clearly why she wanted a break. Just move on. This relationship has run its course. Story 2. Third time's the charm. I'm usually pretty closed off to talking about relationship issues but need some support from the crowd. I've been cheated on 3 times in my life. 1. High school eye roll, I know 2. Fiancé cheated on me 3. Wife cheated on me 2 weeks ago. I've always had a zero tolerance for infidelity in any of my relationships, and while the first 2 definitely were hard, I hadn't taken vows in front of my friends, family, and most importantly, God. So as difficult as it was, told them not to let the door hit them on the way out. After I found out my wife of 2 years next month was doing the same, I was shattered, angry, dumbfounded, confused, and ended up praying on it real hard. I looked down at my wrist and still was wearing the wristband from the marriage conference my church put on earlier this year. Above all, love each other deeply, and felt at peace that God would take this pain away and use it to make me stronger. So I had a long heart-to-heart with my spouse and felt she was truly disgusted by her actions, and learned a newfound respect for what she could lose after I made her stay at her parents' for a few days. Tuesday night I asked for her phone and she shot up asking if she wanted me to call mine. Help me find it. Red flag. I acted like nothing affected me and started paying closer attention to her phone time, and have watched her texting almost non-stop the last 2 nights and then immediately deleting the texts. Do cheaters really think we're that ignorant? I nonchalantly asked her who she was texting and she said it was one of her friends from work. When she went to bed, I looked at her texts and there were no texts to that person, or anyone else for that matter, past about 4:30 in the afternoon. Red flag 2. Lay next to her acting like everything is peachy has been teased. I'm aware my emotions on my sleeve type of person and need some advice from those who have gone down this unfortunate path. Wait it out and collect more evidence first. Address it now. Divorce has never been something I thought would be in my vocabulary, but should I find out my intuition is right again, I don't think I could overcome it. Biggest concern for me at this point is custody of our 2 pups and the house of which I pay 100% of the bills for. Thanks for letting me vent y'all. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, don't delay. She has shown you that she has no intention of good faith. Still cheating. Get it filed. Redditor 2, file. Now. No warning. Redditor 3, hire an attorney and pull data from the phone company. That will help inform you who she is cheating with. Ultimately it doesn't matter cause you caught her. She stopped for all of 5 minutes. So put divorce in your vocabulary. Redditor 4, lawyer up and file. She is probably in love and wants out. Let her out now before she realizes what a poor choice she made and decides to screw you over in the divorce. Be glad there are no children and you won't have to deal with her for the next 18 years. Heal and find someone that loves and respects you. Redditor follow up, I agree with all this except find someone that loves and respects you. You don't need to look and find someone, let them find you. Much better to be non-exclusive for now. Redditor 5, you already gave her a second chance and then she flaunts it right in front of you. She should be begging for forgiveness and doing everything to regain your trust. There is no real remorse. I would go divorce route. She does not respect you or her vows.